How's everyone doing today? And welcome to my channel. This channel is for educational purposes, and we try to expose great theories, discoveries, and concepts that are otherwise unexposed. Things that you probably don't know about because you have to do a great deal of digging to uncover them. These are things that the powers that be don't want you to know. And this is a feature that is called Your Blind Side. Another dedicated to the patriots out there who I think are about to win the war against the globalists. But unfortunately, that might be a Pyrrhic victory unless said patriots do a little bit more digging, cover up their blind spots, and, you know, try to penetrate some of their conditionings, some more of their conditionings. I know that everybody's been red pilled. Everybody has had to accept certain things that they thought were true that actually turned out to be lies. But it goes a lot deeper than that, and um, there's a lot more where that came from. The deeper you go, the more lies you are going to uncover, and you have just scratched the surface so far. And if you think that we're going to move forward as is, you are sorely mistaken. It's going to require quite a bit more digging. Now, I just wanted to um, comment along the same lines as what I was talking about yesterday. I was talking about, you know, black people being up in arms about police brutality when, you know, black on black crime is like 1,000 times more prevalent, and you know, most patriots can understand that and agree with that, but they don't apply those same lessons when it comes to things like Christian persecution, which also is super overblown and always has been. Um, while they submit to doctors, who are much more responsible for, um, you know, doing harm to people. And I heard a podcast the other day, and they were kind of ridiculing the Nation of Islam, which is the African American version of Islam that was first started by Elijah Muhammad, and whose most famous exponent was Malcolm X. And they probably had something to do with Malcolm X's assassination in 1965. Um, but most of you don't know anything about any of that. But but you were ridiculing the Nation of Islam's belief systems, and this holds true for a lot of the black nationalist movements. They all have kind of creation beliefs that are um, that just so happen to completely favor them, to make them be the chosen people and the best people, and everybody else is kind of subject to them, and they are. This goes even to like the ancient Egyptians were all African descent people, and um, you know, these are things that I have been very critical of in the past. That, you know, um, you're just doing kind of the same thing in backwards, where, um, why does everybody got to be the chosen people? And, um, but in this case, in the Nation of Islam's case, it's even more kind of grotesque, where it's like, uh, Yakub, the scientist, kind of mad scientist, kind of creates the white man out of um, in a bad experiment gone bad, and they eventually take over. Um, you know, it's laughable in my mind, just because it's so, um, you know, uh, it just so happens that it favors the group that I'm in. But you know, the Patriots, their belief systems are just as whack as that. You know, uh, that uh, some savior comes down here and gives his life for a free lunch for all of us. All we have to do is believe, and then we go to heaven, and everybody else goes to hell. It's it's just as absurd. And the fact that you can't see that both of them are talking about the same kind of stuff, and that that you can laugh at one of them and take the other one completely seriously, shows that you haven't been digging into the truth nearly enough. And because they're both right along the same lines. um you know, I don't know how often I hear, right wingers talking about there is no free lunch, but Jesus Christ is the definition of a free lunch. Um, and just the kind of manifestation of this just absolutely disgusting doctrine of this sacrifice. What the hell is all that about? Do you think that God gives a damn how much blood is shed? Um, Not the God that I would, spend my time worshiping. y- You know, um, so you know, let's just face it. Uh, you know, all the Western religions are like kindergarten religions. They're not. None of them are serious. They're all, you know, about these violent and um, aggressive and zealous and jealous gods. That's not God. That's God with a small g. It's called Yahweh Elohim. Um, I found it kind of interesting to see Yahweh in Sanskrit apparently is something very close to a volcano, and that exactly is Yahweh is the volcano god. You're just waiting for him to erupt, and just spew all of his, destruction all over the place, and just hope that it's not you that is the ire of Yahweh's, um, anger. And so, um, you guys can call me a Satanist, or, say I'm in league with Satan. But at a certain point, you're going to have to do the work yourself, and you're going to have to recognize that what I'm saying is the truth, and that there is no moving forward with the Patriot movement until somebody starts to do some work here that goes deeper than just the 20th century and 21st century. The digging has to keep going back and back and back, and it's going to go further and further and further into your conditionings. And eventually, you'll get back to the first century and recognize that the story of Jesus is entirely a psyop. It was created by the Romans in order to mollify the Jews. And there's ample evidence of that. Read your Josephus, War of the Jews, 7 volumes. Start with volume 3 with the beginning of Titus's military campaign, and just compare that with the book of Luke's um, ministry of Jesus, and you'll see that they're identical. Um, both books were written by the same authors. We know Josephus was writing from Caesar's palace. Um, there's so much evidence, and there is absolutely zero evidence for the existence of Jesus. I've been challenging you guys for I don't know how long. Somebody provide me with some evidence of the existence of Jesus that is outside of the Bible and that is not one of the Roman, um, Caesars or their court. And it's been crickets. So, not like a lot of people are watching these videos anyway, but hopefully somebody will, some stray person will see these and maybe pass them along to some of the more influential people because I'm trying to cover your blind side. I'm trying to, um, prevent you from having a moribund movement. And I'm also trying to prevent you from burning me at the stake when you get in power, because that's what Christians tend to do when they can complain about persecution all the time when they're not in power. But when they get in power, then they start accusing everybody and their mother of being a witch or being a Satanist, and pretty soon the burnings start happening. So that's what I'm trying to prevent, and I think that somebody sane out there is going to recognize that what I'm saying is the truth. Okay, well, like, share, subscribe, comment, contribute, and watch your blind side.